Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I have the Q, but I have an I and an N to go with it for chi and chin, and I also have the letters for cade and caddy. So this isn't a bad rack. My preference would be to play chin to sort out the duplicate N and to leave a decent rack leave of Dane. Now, my opponent has provided a U. I do have a spot for chin, either above or below duo. Do I have something better through the U? Well, I've got Quinn, but that takes a lot of hooks, and it uses the same tiles as chin. So I'm not going to score much more than this. Above or below? Above, I think. Yeah, because then my opponent can't score off the cue. Great, that looks very bingo-y. Is there a bingo? If there is, it's very high probability. But it has not come to mind, so maybe there isn't one here. Such a shame to miss it. ID looks like a possibility for a 9-letter play. No new photos for my opponent, and he's obscured ID. He has provided a new 7-letter lane. But is there a 7 here? So endarted with a D, ratined with an E. Can't see anything beginning with the E. Well, I'm just not seeing a bingo, which is a shame. This rack looks great. Plenty of 8s. Okay, well, this will be pretty bad if I have missed a bingo. And this is a tricky rack to sort out because I have no scoring tiles and the board is pretty tight. I guess I need to play down from TE and play Den. Yeah, I do have to cover this double word square. 12 points. So painful. Have I missed a bingo? I'm going with this. Wow. Great pickup. Sometimes mistakes are rewarded with blanks. Maybe that's the case here. So, do I have a bingo ending in S? I don't think so. I think the play with an S is tar seal. Wow. Nice bingo by my opponent. Tar seal does play because Dens is good. And also Den E is good. Dean. Teds takes nothing after it. So I don't think there's an awful lot to think about here. There probably are many alternative bingos. But, well, let me hold on a minute. Because look, there's a double lane in row E. And I can certainly use that. Alterant, 78, and also alternat, which is going to be better. Alternat, even though it takes an E, it's not placing a vowel next to a triple letter square. 78 points. An okay pickup, non-bingo-y. But I've got scoring tiles in the W and the H. So a play of Wahoo would sort that out. Nowhere obvious for that. Now, what about column 8? Quite a nice 5-letter lane. Can I get my W or H doubled? Don't think so. I've got hoodier on my rack. Okay, so tight may take an S in front, and it may not. It may just be TYTE that has the S. Alternate takes a D. Ut takes an A. MI only takes a D. So that isn't a promising line. Going back to column 8, what do I have down here? Well, I have Wade. Not good, keeping 2 O's, even if it is with an H. 33 points, quite good. I have an I for going after Den. That's it, so it doesn't suit Wahoo. The tiles in alternate not really suiting me for an overlap play in row D. So I thought this was going to be a more tractable rack than it is. What to do? It's quite a tight board, and I'm only 6 points in the lead. What about a play down column 14? Can't see one. There must be something in row D. The trouble is my A's got to go above the L, and AO, not many words, and AI likely to leave me with O's. What about a play in column 10? Can't see anything. So let me come back to column 8. I could play Dowie, which shorts out the duplicate I. It's an okay rack leave. It's a decent score. I'm going with this. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. Vowel heavy, duplicates, non-bingo-y tiles. Through an L, I would have a loofah. I don't think this is remotely bad enough to change. It's just that I'm always hoping to be on the brink of a bingo, and I'm not going to leave myself with a good rack leave. If I have a bingo next go, it's going to be down to good fortune in my picking rather than with the assistance of a good rack leave. I no longer have a D for going after alternate. I could play hoof. 25 points, keeping double AE, not great. I certainly want to play off the F. Wow, another bingo by my opponent. I'll just check it in case paying doesn't take an S. It does. I'm in trouble. I'm 40 points behind with a rubbishy rack. And now there is a spot for Wahoo. I don't have anything through the I. What I don't have is a play from my own rack that would sort my rack out. Now I can play hoof here, or hoof for 33, which is okay. The rack leave is pretty rubbish. Although if I draw only consonants and the right consonants, I could have a bingo. 33 points is a decent score, however. It's not giving too much away. Hoof takes a C and a W in front. I am only 30 points behind, so I like this score. The score here. Let's see what I draw. Pretty good. Pretty good. It's not bingo-y. But I have drawn 4 consonants, which is what I was hoping for. And I've drawn the Z. So I've got Zariba on my rack, which does play in row M, making Oop, Fab and Ya. If I can play the Z with either the B or the P and one of the A's, then I'll have a decent rack leave. So Zap achieves that. I'd rather play the B, but I think that may be harder. Unless I can get Zariba down. Ah, I've got Zariba in row D, getting the Z doubled. It does give the Z for my opponent for column 1, but that's okay. It will score well for me and sort my rack out. "15 minutes on my opponent's clock, 13 on mine. Where else can my Z go? Do I have anything through the eye of payings? My opponent plays. 36 points for him. He's continuing to score. I'm now 30 or 40 points behind. Mix takes a T after it and a Y, I think. I don't have either of those. So this is what I'm thinking of, Zariba for 60. It opens the board up. It will put me 30 points in the lead, which will probably evaporate. But if my opponent plays in column 1, the R of Zariba will be available. Not too many bingo lanes on this board. But with a rack leave of just P, that doesn't really matter. Is there a better play than Zariba? Not that I can see. Not good at all. I've got 4 high-scoring tiles. The rack is clunky. It's non-synergetic. I've got a slender lead. Not good. Even if I play something like Venom, I'm leaving myself with a poor rack leave. V and F go particularly badly together. So that's the bad news. My F can go after Al. Do I have anything at all playable in row F using that? I don't think so. I don't have anything for going after Mix. I have to play off 2 of the high scoring tiles. It would be nice to play off 3. I could play Vamp for not very much. That's been blocked. And annoyingly, my opponent hasn't used the Z. But it's not a tile I can use. Hoy takes an A in front. Still 2 A's to come. HA doesn't take anything that I've got in front of it. So Vamp's been blocked. I have got Vamp in row G for not very much. So probably not enough to justify playing there. Certainly not stopping 1 square short of the column 15 with 2 S's to come. Both blanks have gone. I mentioned Venom earlier. That would play in row F and making Bam. Not very much score. I suspect there is a scory move here. Now, is there really nothing down from the Z? Regardless of rack leave. Not that I can see. So, what about playing Vom? 25 points. Barely acceptable. Do I have anything across the top here? I don't think it's going to score very much. F and P go badly together. Can I do better than Vom? And what about a play through the eye? What about Vymen? 30 points. tempting. It stops my opponent playing there. Fop seems more reasonable because fop itself is a word. Oh, only 27 points. But I still think this is a better play than vom. And I quite like the idea of opening the board up a bit. I'm behind. More horror. But I don't think this is bad enough to change. I've got goof in row B. I've got nothing which uses the Z, which is annoying, because whoever uses that first is going to get a 40 or 50 point fillip to their score. But I'm glad I've opened the board. It gives me a chance of coming back if my opponent does move into the lead. At the moment I've got a small lead, but I'm expecting that to evaporate immediately. Poov would be good onto an E. Okay, great. Only 24 points for my opponent, and he was unable to use the Z, which is now looking pretty much out of action. My goof spot has been taken, which is a shame. 9 minutes on my clock. R takes an O in front. I don't have any O plays, despite having O's. I don't have a C or a W. Ah, well, I've got poof. Not a great Rackley, DGV, but 30 points is good. Poof does take an S in front, but it's not in a particularly useful position. Should I play goof instead? No. I don't think so. I don't think it's dangerous enough. Is there something else in this spot? Food. So this is 30. This is 1 point fewer. That doesn't look good. G and V. 27, P and V. I'm coming back to poof for 30. I think I like it, even though the rack leave is grim. What about playing Vog in that spot? £23 points. I'm retaining the O. I'm giving nothing away. Don't like that. Don't like this either. But I think the combination of score and rack leave suggests to me that this is the best I've seen. The Alf spot is still available, but I can't use it. Yep, I'm going with this. And I draw an S, so I've got, for example, Vigs, if that's not taken. 34 points. I've got a 20-point lead. This rack is starting to look a little bit better. I've got Vogie in row B. If I can clear out the G and the V, the remaining rack is pretty bingo-y, or bingo-y-ish with the S. And certainly the floaters of E and N are promising. Great, so Vix remains available, but that burns the S. Do I have anything beginning with the Z? I don't. Can I play off G and V, keeping that S spot available? So Veg, Vig, Gov, all good. So what about playing Vag here? 9 points, keeping a nice rack lead. Vag takes an I, I've got an I. My There are loads of eyes out there, but they're only really useful for bingos. And I quite like this rack leave with this E and this N, and my opponent with the eyes might be worried about column 14. The only bad thing, and it is a bad thing, is the score. Since I'm 5 points behind, I don't need to bingo. But so can I score a lot more than 9? I mean, Vig's 34 points. Well, that's massively better. Yeah, and this rack leave is okay. I'm going with this. And I draw the other S. I have diocese. So I suspect there's nowhere for that. Ah, but there is because of alternated. Wow, I have diocese and alternated. Fantastic. And that hasn't been touched for the whole game. And it remains available. Fantastic. And the C is going to be next to the triple word square, which is great. I'm ahead. This is going to leave 3 tiles in the bag. Now, is there something through the N? Well, there could be. But it's not coming to mind. Is there any other bingo lane I've overlooked? Possibly the D of Dowie. I am going with diocese. Diocese for 74. And the remaining tiles pretty bingo-y, but I've got an 80-point lead, and I've got the J for score. And there are 3 tiles in the bag, so if my opponent bingos, then I still get to play. Now, Fan takes a K. So I could play Jerk and Fank. That would be quite nice. About 50 points. It should enable me to outrun a bingo. Jebble's good. Nowhere for that. Fan takes an E. So do I have a 5-letter play ending with E? Don't think so. No scoring tiles in the tiles that are left. They're just bingo-y. And there's a couple of bingo lanes. Column 15, parallel to the last 3 tiles in Diocese, and the N of Vymen. I think I can survive either. However, I think my candidate plays at the moment have both been in column N. Do I have anything in column 15? Well, I have Rebel, but I think I need to play off the J. My opponent's likely to go out in 2, so I suspect I'm only going to have 1 more play. 11 minutes on my opponent's clock, 5 on mine. This game has gone pretty quickly. Looking around for J spots. If my opponent doesn't have a bingo, he's going to be pretty close to 1. Unless he's got a U and 3 eyes. So we can see the remaining 10 tiles. My opponent's got 7 of them. He's probably got a bingo-y-ish rack. But there's a small possibility he's got a horrible unbingo-y rack. At the moment, Jerk and Fank are the best I've seen. Opponent taking a while with this play. He's still got 10 minutes left. So what do I do if row N is blocked? Can I get my J on this triple letter square? G'll not good, spelt EA. I could play Joke. Great. My opponent empties the bag. He leaves Jerk alone. Yep, it was Jerk. For 46 points, which is a good score. It obstructs the N, but does my opponent have a bingo? I can see all of his tiles. I don't think he does, either with or without the N. Can I score more than 46 points with my J? Nope, I don't think so. And now I am going to have a second go, so what I should have done is check that I can go out in 2. I can, because I can play Bell and B, and also Bled or Bowl in row B, or Bell and Buy. 15 for Bell and Buy. My opponent can't play underneath Jerk, underneath the J, and nor can I. So I'm looking for the highest scoring spot for me to go out, on the basis that my opponent is not going to bingo. And I think it is Bell and Buy. That stays available. 15 points for that. My opponent has also provided a spot for Bell and Ben. 15 points for that. Anywhere better? Don't think so. Just wait for my opponent to formally end the game. Which he does, and the final score, 350 to my opponent, 469 to me, a winning margin of 119 points, so a big, big win. Let's see what I missed. My opponent to go first, Horrible Rack, plays a duo, and I play Chin for 29, and that looks fine. Opponent plays TE. Great, I didn't miss a bingo with this lovely rack, and look at this, horrible scores, and all of these plays are wrecking the rack, the rack leave, so Den is actually fine. It leaves a better rack leave than anything on offer here. Now, great bingo by my opponent, mutuals, also umlauts available, and I went, well, after my initial play in row L, I spotted the double lane and went straight for that without looking elsewhere. It looks like there was a big overlapping play in column 13 for one more point, but it opens row A, so I still prefer the play I made. Opponent's rack, he plays tight. And let me just use one of these fancy commands to check Stite. Invalid. Okay. So this was a rack I struggled with. And I played Dowie. So looking at the others down here, that looks fine. Great rack for my opponent. He's got payings and a few other bingos. And I have a horrible rack and I'm 40 points behind. So it's very much game, well, not game on, but there's some expression which it definitely is. Now, I didn't play Oaf. Oaf, yeah. What did I do? Hoof, I think. Yeah, Oaf, a better play. AEHO, a better rack leave than AAE. But I got lucky, drawing only consonants. Opponent plays Tax, and well, I went for Zariba for 60. I could have got 6 fewer points. Okay, but it's still sticking the Z in column 1, so I think there's probably not much between those. The E isn't worth 6, but it might be worth 3 or 4, and it helps the P, so yeah, not much between those. Horrible rack for my opponent. He plays Hoy. And I think in the end I go for Vymen. Yep, I do. Opponent's still got a horrible rack. And so have I. So we're both struggling. I've now reduced the gap with the help of Zariba and Vyman to just 8 points. but I didn't feel good because his rack was so ropey. And I played Poof. Vog also suggested. But I still think, looking at these scores and rack leaves, I prefer Poof. Opponent plays all. Now I play Vigs, but H1 vised for 43 for 9 more points. Actually, not much between those. So if there's not much between them, I prefer the play with the better rack leave. Now my opponent's rack is looking better, but slightly too many vowels. He plays name, and I have diocese. There was a bingo through the end, Cody Ines. Fortunately, I didn't have to find it. And now I'm in a good spot. I'm 80 points ahead. Now my opponent's got Girlia. Does he have anything else? No, he has no playable bingo, which is great. He plays Aya, emptying the bag. And I have Jerk and Fank for 46, and that's good night Eileen for my opponent. He plays Ring, and I have Bell for 15 to end the game. So pretty exciting stuff. It felt a bit grim in the middle and the beginning of the game because I felt I was behind and I was drawing badly. And when that happens, you sort of feel that it may not be your game and you're going to carry on drawing badly. As it happens, my opponent was also struggling with bad racks, and I got the breaks with Zariba, Vyman, and Diocese, seeing me through into, in the end, quite a solid and comfortable victory. So all good stuff. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.